Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Shake It Up Cafe. My name is Chef Basil, and I will be your host. I mean your head chef for our virtual vacation Bible school. Throughout this week, we're going to have fun learning about God and His recipes for us to follow, and some Bible appetizers for us along the way. We will learn some fun praise songs, watch some really cool videos, do some really fun experiments, and crafts. Before we start mixing up our crafts and stories, though, let's get started with some music. Our servers, Dakota and Rose, orders up.
Hey kids, are you ready for the first song? Let's shake it up!
Let's get out and get cooking on we're so many things to be doing. God is making something new in me. God is changing my life recipe. Come on, let's do it now. Shake, 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 shake it up. Shake, 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 shake it up. Shake, shake, shake it up. God's got a recipe for me. And stir me up of Jesus' love. Cover and peace of faith in me. Sizzling hot. Not gonna stop. Heavenly sweet. Let's make it shake up the recipe. Shake, 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 shake it up. Shake, 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 shake it up. Shake, 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 shake it up. God's got a recipe for me. Shake it up. Shake, 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 shake it up. Shake, 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 shake it up. God's got a recipe for me.
Time to celebrate!
Shout it out loud, hallelujah! Praise the Lord with joy and gladness. Worship and say, God reigns. You are Lord of everything, Creator and King of heaven. You fill up our hearts with blessings. Everybody celebrate. There's life in Christ. Everybody celebrate. There's life in Christ. Forever we'll praise your name. All over the world proclaim. You are our Lord forever. Call on the Lord Jesus. You provide our every need. Tell the whole world, Hosanna! You have come to set us free. You are our hope everlasting. We lift up your name as we sing. Everybody celebrate. There's life in Christ. Everybody celebrate. There's life in Christ. Forever we'll praise your name. All over the world proclaim. You are our Lord forever. You are our Lord forever.
Tonight, for the fourth night, we will learn how to remember Jesus often. And to get us ready for this story, let's take a look at our Bible appetizer. Luke 12:19 says, "Do this in remembrance of me." So why don't we send it over for today's special of the day, which will focus on how Jesus celebrated Passover. I hear Mrs. Lily and Mrs. Pickens and their helpers are back to show us how.
When it was time to celebrate Passover, Jesus gave 2 of his disciples, Peter and John, instructions for preparing the meal.
Go into the city and find a man carrying a jar of water. Follow this man to his home and ask him where the guest room is, so that I can celebrate the Passover meal there with my disciples.
When Peter and John went to the city, they found everything as Jesus had told them. Peter and John began to prepare the meal. Let's see what the meal probably looked like. Jewish people, like Jesus and his followers, celebrated Passover to remember the last meal the Israelites ate before leaving Egypt. In fact, this meal is still celebrated today. Bitter herbs, such as raw horseradish root or a piece of lettuce, remind the people of the bitter or unhappy lives the Israelites had as slaves. The herbs are dipped into salt water to remind them of the tears the Israelites cried. The matzo represents the unleavened bread the Israelites ate the night they left Egypt. Do you remember what ingredient is missing in unleavened bread? That's right, yeast. Yeast makes bread rise, and this bread was missing yeast. So it would have been flat, like a cracker. The bone represents the meat of the lamb God told the Israelites to eat. The plate also holds harosis, a mixture of chopped apples, nuts, cinnamon, and a little grape juice. This mixture is a reminder of the bricks that the Israelite slaves made for the Egyptians. Some believe the sweet taste represents God's kindness and care. The egg represents the freedom from slavery and the new life God gave the people. The parsley reminds them of the growth of plants and God's never-ending love. In Bible times, people drink wine with their meals. Wine is a drink made from the juice of grapes. In the traditional Passover meal, 4 glasses of wine are served.
When the meal was ready, the rest of the disciples and Jesus gathered at the table. Jesus took some unleavened bread and raised it up to God to give thanks for it. Then he broke the bread and gave a piece to the disciples. Jesus told them the bread was his body, and he said to take and eat it, remembering him. Then he raised a glass, gave thanks to God for the drink, and shared some with each of the disciples. Jesus told them the wine was his blood, and with it, God makes a new covenant or agreement with us. The celebration of communion is a holy time. We remember Jesus' life and the agreement we have with God, just as Jesus said.
This story is really a story of 2 meals. The first meal is the Passover meal, which Jewish people celebrate to remember how God helped the Israelites out of slavery. But when Jesus celebrated this meal with his disciples, he brought new meaning to it. Jesus used a meal everyone knew about to help them remember his life, his teachings, and our covenant with God. In our tradition, we remember Jesus through a second meal called communion.
After the Passover meal, Jesus and the disciples left for the Mount of Olives, where Jesus went to pray. Jesus doesn't want us to forget about his life and the agreement we have with him, with God through him. Jesus wants us to stay focused on him and on the way he taught us to live.
Whenever you celebrate communion in church, think about Jesus. Remember, he's teaching us. Remember his teachings and his love.
Shake it up, Jesus. Thank you all. Let's see what special experiment now Mrs. Amonetti and Harmon have going now.
Hello, boys and girls. This is night 4 of science, and today's theme is Do This in Remembrance of Me. So, remember our wonderful scientific method, Harmon?
Yes.
We should be pros at it by today, right?
Yeah.
We ask our question, then what do?
We take our question and we see what will happen.
Yep, we make it.
That's what will happen.
Yep,
And then we observe.
and then we observe, and then afterwards, then what do? We make our conclusion, right?
Yeah.
All right, let's not die the floor, the table, okay?
Oh, no.
Because if we put that on the table, what do you think is going to happen?
Oh, done it, and it's like a chain reaction. Awesome.
Oh, okay.
I think so.
So, anyways, today our question is going to be, Harmon.
Clean that.
Oh, okay. Our question today, Harmon, is going to be, what do we think is going to happen when we mix vinegar and oil?
Hey.
So what do you think is going to happen when we mix vinegar and oil?
I think it's going to explode.
You think it's going to explode? Ah, boys and girls, what do you think is going to happen? Do you think vinegar and oil, if we mix it together in a bottle, it's going to explode? You do? Oh, you don't? Well, let's go ahead and find out in our experiment today. So we just need a couple simple things. We just need a bottle. We're going to need 2/3 of a cup of vinegar. You're going to need 2/3 of a cup of oil. And then
You can use any food color.
yeah, you can use any coloring you want. We're going to use blue today, and we're going to put it in our vinegar, and it's just so we can see the vinegar easier.
Drops.
Okay, so you can just put a couple of drops, so 2 or 3. You want enough to make your vinegar change colors. So Harmon's putting a couple in. All right, that's enough, Harmon.
Shot it right down the side.
That's okay. Do you want to just stop, and then we can just swirl? You want to swirl this a little bit, like
Yeah,
this?
sure. Awesome.
Yeah, just swirl a little bit. So now we got perfect.
This looks like black.
Ah. Well, we used apple cider vinegar, so it might change the color a little bit, make it a little darker.
Then
We're going to take our funnel, right? And now we're going to add our 2/3 cup oil. All right. So you want to pour the oil, or you want to pour the oil in here, or pour the oil in your cup?
I'll pour it.
In there?
I need help though.
Okay, so you hold the cup, hold the 3rd cup. All right, let's hold it over our pie plate. All right, and you're going to whoop, whoop.
This feels like.
There you go.
Is
Go
this
pour it in
what we
the
put
funnel.
on our popcorn?
Whoop.
Oh yeah, I've seen this experiment.
All right, you want to pour that in?
Mom, I've seen this experiment.
You have.
No, I know what happens exactly.
You know what happens? All right, so now we're going to take our funnel out,
Yeah, I know exactly what happens. I did this with
put the
Stu.
lid on. Oh, you did this in Scouts?
Yeah.
All right, you want to put the lid on our water bottle?
Yeah. It is not going to explode. So.
Oh, it's not going to? Well, let's show the boys and girls what's going to happen. So put our lid on.
You want me
Leave
to
this on
shake
it.
it?
Yep, go ahead. Shake it up. Nice, tight. All right.
Right now the oil's on top.
All right. Shake it real hard. All right, and then let's set it in here and see what happens. Nothing happens?
Oh, wait. So if you look really, really close, you can see tiny bubbles of oil.
Oh, if you look really close, Harmon says you can see tiny bubbles of oil. Can you see those, boys and girls, how there's tiny bubbles of oil on top? Perfect. So did it explode, Harmon?
No.
No. What happened? It bubbled.
I wish it exploded.
And it kind of separated, right? Because if you look at the very bottom, our vinegar is starting to be there, and our oil is slowly starting to come up on top, right?
I did it with water. Does water work better?
Oh, you did it with water instead of vinegar? And you could do that with water too instead of vinegar. Vinegar is most